us today. It is 11:02, so I would like to get started. So get yourself comfortably seated in your chair. Today, I would like to actually begin with a beautiful little chant that is a mantra. We're going to be working, at least for our opening and closing practice, with a mantra. And it is one of the most simplest yet powerful traditional yogic mantras. And the mantra is So Hum. So Hum. And what it means is I am that. I'm going to put you on mute so that there's no background noise as you're getting set up. But you can always come off of mute if you need to. So Hum means I am that. And what the that refers to is that with a capital T, which is the power of creation, the power that breathes us all. We could call it divinity, we could call it God, we could call it the infinite. So when we say the mantra So Hum, we are affirming I am that. It's affirming who we are beyond who we think we are. Beyond just this body and this mind, this collection of thoughts, we're acknowledging our essential self that is infinite, eternal, and whole. So what we do with this mantra is we actually sync it up with the breath so that when we breathe in, and this is breathing in and out through the nose, using your yogic three-part breaths, when we breathe in and out through the nose, internally, we let the mantra follow the sound of the breath. So on the inhale, and hum on the exhale. And there's different ways to do it. Some people do it reversed. But one of the ways that it was taught by a great yogi, Swami Muktananda, taught it this way, that on the inhale, we hear the sound of the breath. It's kind of mirroring the sound of the breath. If you think about breathing in, if we were to breathe with the mouth open, which we're not, but if we were to breathe with the mouth open, it would go and breathe open. So you can kind of hear that mantra inherent in the sound of the breath. So hum. So we think to ourselves, we let that vibration ride in the mind. So on the inhale, filling up into the chest. Hum on the exhale as we empty out. So means that, hum means I am. So what happens with the cyclical rhythm of the breath is that we are affirming I am that I am. I am that I am. And some of you may know that as a biblical phrase. When Moses saw the burning bush and he asked, "Who are you?" And then God said, I am that I am. So it's a powerful mantra in both the yoga tradition and in the Judeo-Christian tradition. So hum, I am that. And with that rhythm of breathing that is continuing, I am that I am that I am. Just affirming the divinity that lives and breathes through you. So let's begin with a little song to invite us into an appreciation of that mantra. I'm going to sing it once, a couple of times through, and then you can feel free. I think I have you all on mute, so you can feel free to sing along with the fullness of your voice in your own space. I wish I could hear you all singing, but it doesn't work on Zoom, so you're on your own with this. So hum, so hum, so hum, Shivo hum. Shiva refers to Shiva, which is another name for that infinite, eternal consciousness that is God. Long spine, open heart, take a deep breath in. Fill all the way up into the chest. And let it go. Exhale with a sigh. The first few breaths, just sigh out whatever doesn't need to be here in the mind, body, and heart. just letting go breaths, cleansing breaths, landing breaths, allowing those deep, delicious breaths to bring you into your body, into the awareness of present moment. Soham, soham, soham shivoham, soham, soham, soham shivoham, soham, soham, soham shivoham, soham, soham, soham shivoham. Try it with me. Soham, soham, soham shivoham, soham, soham, soham shivoham. We'll try it in English now. I am that I am. 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 Again. I am that I am. 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 Together, soham. Soham, soham. Soham shivoham, soham, soham, soham shivoham. I am that I am. Together with me. I am that I am. 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 Slowly let your eyes close and refresh your posture. Long spine, rooting the tailbone down into the earth and lifting the crown of the head up toward the sun. Rolling the shoulders back and down and letting the heart spread. And breathing in and out, slow and deep through the nose, find your deep yogic breaths that begin in the belly. Invite the breath to draw up into the rib cage and lift all the way up into the chest. And exhaling through the nose, emptying from top to bottom, emptying the chest, emptying the rib cage area, emptying the belly, all the way down, drawing the navel in toward the spine at the end of your exhale. And as you breathe slow and deep in and out through the nose, with eyes closed, I want to invite you to let that mantra ride softly on your breath. So, on the in-breath, silently to yourself. Hum on the out-breath. So the breath calls you into the remembrance, I am that. And the breath becomes a contemplation on the mystery of being. The contemplation that began with your first breath at birth and has been repeating endlessly and will continue to repeat endlessly for the whole of our lives. But in this moment, with that mantra, we have an opportunity to bring that contemplation, I am that I am, into our conscious awareness, affirming our true nature, that which is the spiritual entity that we are beyond this body, beyond this mind. Those of you who practice Ujjayi breath with that gentle narrowing of the airway so the breath makes the whisper sound can engage that which allows us to hear and to rest our attention on the breath a little more easily. So it helps that mantra to become audible as we breathe. So on the in-breath, hum on the out-breath. I am that. I am that divinity which I seek. And on the next in-breath, let the arms rise. You can let the eyes open with a soft gaze. Turn the palms up, spiral the arms open at the top of the breath. Let the hands meet. Exhale down the center line of the body. And let's together, those of you who wish to, join me in the sound of Om. Just recognizing our collective divinity. We are that. Big breath in. Exhale together to Om. Om. And let your hands release down to your lap. I'd like to begin our movement practice today with moving from opening the body from the top down. So we're going to start with the head and neck and bring it down into the shoulders and arms, down into the torso and into the hips and legs. So we'll be engaging the whole of our bodies, starting from the top and working down. So once again, lengthen through your spine, come forward to the front edge of your chair, so your sit bones are right at the very front edge. Shoulders stacked over hips, long spine. Lengthen up right through the crown of your head. And once you find that length, I want to invite you to just let the right ear, I'm going to mirror you, so I'll be your mirror, so you let your right ear drop down toward your right shoulder. And keep both shoulders down, moving down toward the hips, stacked over the hips. And then you can let your left fingers reach long and away. So we're just inviting a stretch, just letting this posture invite a lengthening along the left side of the neck. And you might feel that as a strong stretch, or maybe you feel it as a little kink happening here on the right side. And I invite you to just hold there and breathe into that. Long, slow, deep breaths, letting the exhale release any tension that you can become aware of. Let that tension run down the arms and out the fingertips, like water kind of running down the side of a mountain. And if you want to take this deeper, this is optional. You can take your right arm and wrap it around your head and cup your right arm around your left ear. And what you're going to do here is not actually pull on the head, but just let the weight of the arm invite a little bit more leverage for that stretch. Letting that exhale release the tension right down the arms and out the fingertips, out that left arm. And you may notice that with each long exhale, this long releasing exhale, that you might actually notice a little bit of a shift, a subtle change where that ear can soften down a little bit more, and you feel a lengthening in the side of the neck here. Maybe the sensation softens a little bit as you bring one more deep conscious breath to the place where the sensation is strong. And then to release this, take the right hand and just bring it to your right cheek and invite the head to come up to center. Bring both hands to your thighs and just notice, see if you can notice a difference between the right and left side of your neck. Notice if you can feel more spaciousness and openness, on perhaps warmth and aliveness on the left side. And then lengthening up again through the crown of the head. Just let the left ear just sink down toward the left shoulder. And just notice what comes alive, perhaps in the right side of the neck, or maybe the left side as well. You're noticing strong sensation. You can let the right fingertips reach down and away, that arm at a diagonal line. And let the out-breath carry away any tension. Let it just run down the arm and out the fingertips. We hold so much insidious tension in the neck and shoulders that we're often just not even aware of how tight it is. If it feels good, you can wrap that left arm around the head and just cup the hand around the left hand around the right ear. And without pulling, just inviting a lengthening, even just a millimeter of opening is a positive shift. If it doesn't feel good to have that arm wrapped around, you can just let the hand be down on your lap or at your side. Allowing the breath to invite a release, invite a lengthening along that right side of the neck and the right top of the right shoulder. Let the breath be long and slow and deep. If you notice any restriction because of strong sensation, see if you can soften into it and keep the breath slow and deep. Maybe allowing that Soham mantra to ride in the back of the mind with the breath. And then bringing the left hand to the left cheek, invite the head to come up to center and bring the hands back to the lap. Notice how you feel. Notice the openness. And then I'm going to invite you to take your fingers and interlace them behind the head. So you're going to, I'll show you how it looks from the back. You're going to bring the hands just to the ridge at the base of the skull, the occipital ridge, and interlace your fingers and let the elbows, instead of having the elbows come out to the side, just let them point straight ahead so that your wrists or lower arms are going to frame the ears. And without rounding the upper back, keep the shoulders stacked over the hips. This is just a neck flexion. Let the chin come down toward the chest. And let the chin just press into the top of the chest. And you're not pulling on the head. You're just letting the weight of the arms give it a little bit more leverage for that stretch. You should feel a nice stretch down the back of the neck and all the way into that place in the upper back that's between the shoulder blades. See how deeply you notice that stretch happening, how far down the upper back it goes. Just letting the chin melt into that notch at the base of the throat without rounding the shoulders forward or letting the back go into Shlumpasana here. So it's just the cervical spine or the neck that is coming into flexion here. Inviting length and stretch there. Send your breath to any places where you're noticing tightness. One more deep breath in and out here. And then release the hands and bring the hands to the cheeks and just help the head to come up to center and notice how you feel. I always feel a little bit taller after doing that. And then here we'll just take some rotations of the neck. So inhale to center, exhale into turning your head as far over to the right as you can. See if you can line up your chin with your shoulder. Just notice your range of motion here. Inhale to center and exhale into a twist to the other side. Just the cervical spine, just the neck twisting. Shoulders stay steady, heart facing straight ahead. Inhale to center, exhale other side. So here we're just exploring range of motion. Inhale center, exhale to the right, your right. Inhale center, exhale to your left. Inhale back to center. Now I'm going to invite you to come into some shoulder rolls. And what we'll do is we'll do one shoulder at a time. So start with small circles, rolling up and back. Just leading with the shoulders. So the arms aren't doing anything. They're just resting, totally relaxed. Just the shoulders waking up here. So we're moving down the body. So it's up, circling up and back. And then once you get those circles a little bit bigger, see if you can begin to lead with the elbows now. So now the upper arm begins to move as the elbow leads with the circle. So you're just exploring your range of motion. I don't know how many of you had a chance to see, I sent out a video in my regular yoga newsletter, my Singing Heart yoga newsletter, that went out to everybody. And it had a video called Shaking Off the Fuzz, which talks about the fuzz as being this connective tissue that builds up overnight between the muscle fibers. And when we move, when we explore our full range of motion, we dissolve those little fibers. Let's let the arm motions become a little bigger now, leading with the back of the wrist. So the hands are just relaxed. So you're just making this beautiful, elegant gesture of opening the arms, turning the palms up. And let the motion become really big so the whole arm is moving. And it's a gesture of just kind of saying, look at all this beauty around me. This beautiful day, here I am. Isn't this amazing? Here it is. Remember, every movement that we do in the body has an energetic and psycho-spiritual effect on the body. So we're coming into this gesture of just appreciating the magnificence around us. And let the hands come and arms come into stillness. Just notice what's alive in the arms and shoulders. And then we're going to take it in the other direction. Just starting with the shoulders, circling forward, up and forward. See how that feels. So when we explore our range of motion, even just doing something like this, we're shaking off that fuzz, or those little fibers of connective tissue that form between our muscle fibers, between the parts of your muscles. And when we don't do this, we don't bring motion to the body, you can let the elbows lead now, then what happens is that those fibers become thicker and thicker, those fibers of connective tissue or fascia. And it creates adhesions that keep us from being able to move freely. And that's why we get stiff. So just exploring your range of motion. Let's do take it into a swimming motion now. Big movement, swimming forward. So we're shaking off that fuzz, or those little fibers of connective tissue that if we don't shake off will eventually grow into adhesions, which create a restriction in our range of motion. All right. And then the hands come back to the thighs. And any intuitive wiggles or waggles here of the arms and shoulders. I'm going to invite you to take your strap now and hold on to your strap, make it nice and taut, and bring the strap just a little bit wider than your shoulders. You're going to need to experiment with how wide the strap wants to go, and you want to keep it nice and taut. And we're going to do some lifting and lowering. So you want to be able to lift it up so you can reach those knuckles up to the sky without scrunching the shoulders to the ears. So see if you can keep the shoulders drawing down. As you find length in the arms, knuckles reach to the sky, and then you can reach those knuckles back behind you. But if the strap is too long and you can go all the way back, you don't want to go there yet. You want to create a little resistance there. So you get a stretch through the pectoral muscles at the front of the chest and the upper arms and underarms, armpits. I want to see everybody's armpits. Reach the knuckles back behind you on a deep breath in, and then exhale. Keep the strap taut and let it lower down so that the strap comes to your thighs. Arms long, strap taut. Inhale up and reach back. Big breath in, delicious. Exhale. And notice how each time you do a round of this, you might actually have a little more range of motion. Maybe you can get those hands back even just a hair further. And maybe letting that mantra ride on the breath. So on the inhale. So that even as we move and breathe and explore the delight of being in our bodies, we're affirming, I am that. I am that spirit embodied. Opening up and then release. And just let the arms shake out for a moment. Keep holding on to the strap. And then you're going to let the strap go a little bit wider, wide enough so that you can have one arm straight up and the other arm straight to the side so you make an L shape. Pull it taut, reach up with that upper hand, out to the side with the arm going out to the side, and then reach back as far as you can. Big breath in and release down, keeping the strap nice and tight. And then other side, first reach up and out, remembering not to go into scrunchasana with your upper shoulder, with the shoulder of the upper arm. And reach back behind you, opening nice and wide through the chest. And release. Now we're going to take it into breaking through an obstacle. So think about some area of your life where you feel a little bit stuck and you need to break through. Maybe usually where the obstacles are in our own minds, but sometimes they can feel like they're external. Occasionally they're external. But let the hands be a little bit wider now, wide enough so that when you reach up and back, you feel a little bit of resistance. But then after pressing into it and opening very slowly, you can let the shoulder rotate all the way open. Now, if you have shoulder injury and this doesn't feel good, you can skip this one or just go up and down or make it nice and wide so you don't have too much resistance. So make it so that there's no pain in the shoulder. But if it's comfortable for your body, you want to get to the place where you're reaching up and back, but then you get that moment of breaking through the obstacle and bringing the strap all the way down. You're going to have to be nice and forward on your chair so it doesn't catch on the back of the chair. Making sure the strap stays tight and it comes down to your butt behind you. So opening and then breaking through, coming forward. So that sense of reaching up and breaking through some kind of wall, something that's been in your way. Clearing out those obstacles. And one more time. Reaching up and back around. Break on through to the other side, as the Doors used to sing. Break on through to the other side. And release. And release your strap. And just turn the palms up on your lap and just feel all that aliveness, heat, pulsing and tingling in your shoulders, in your upper arms, in your chest, in your palms and fingers. So notice where you feel that aliveness. I'll be right back. My dog wants to come in. He's scratching at the door. Okay. And then with eyes open, interlace your fingers behind you. Come into that yoga mudra. Some of you will use the strap. I'll turn sideways so you can see. You all know this one. Straight arms, either grab the strap with just enough space in between the straps so that you can straighten your arms, or interlace your fingers. And what you can do when you interlace your fingers is you can either keep them all clasped like this, or you can point your pointer fingers away from you and think about the energy moving out those fingertips. Squeeze the shoulder blades toward the spine. Let that heart shine open. Big breaths in and out through the nose. And if it's comfortable, you can fold forward over the thighs, lifting your hands up, letting your crown of your head reach down. And let the head dangle, let the weight of the head invite some lengthening in the neck. Reach up to the sky, and then over your head. And when you're ready to release, let the hands come to hang down by your side. If you're not folding all the way over, you can just come into a rounded spine. Let it all go from an upright position. If your hands don't want to reach, if you're doing the full fold and your hands don't want to reach the floor, you can take a block, place a block between your feet. And then bring the hands to the thighs. Keep the chin tucked until the end. Coming up, let the head come up last. Come to seated. Weight even on your sitting bones. Let's do the eagle arms. One more for arms and shoulders. Eagle arms we did last time. You're going to turn your palms up. And let's start with bringing your right elbow underneath. So cross at the elbows, let the left one come a little past, and either wrap the wrists, thumbs pointing toward you, or just have your hands, backs of the hands to one another, or maybe hooking thumb and pinky, or just giving yourself a hug, walking your fingers along toward your shoulder blades along the back body. So whatever you can do, what this does is it opens up between the plates of the scapulae, the shoulder blades. So it gives you a stretch behind the heart. So it's kind of the opposite stretch of this yoga mudra where we squeeze the shoulder blades toward one another. Lift the elbows high, whatever version of eagle you're doing. Lift the elbows high. I think I said right arm underneath, so I'll mirror you here. Fingertips to the sky. A lot of people tend to crook the fingers, so you want the fingers to be long, reaching skyward. Breathe into any places where you're noticing strong sensation in the arms, shoulders, upper back. And exhale, release, unwind. Arms reach and rise. Exhale, float them down and take the eagle with the other arm underneath, left arm underneath. Your expression of eagle, thumbs point toward you, unless you're taking the giving yourself a hug, which is also a lovely way to do it. Juice it up by lifting the elbows as high as you can comfortably lift them. Maybe taking a little bit of exploration with circling or lifting and lowering. And unwind. And shake it out. And then from here, once again, have your sitting bones at the front of your chair. We're going to take our cat-cow. Rocking, remember the sitting bones are like the blades of your rocking chair. Come forward on your sit bones, draw the shoulders back, spread the heart, look up. So you're opening through the chest and the throat. The whole front of the torso expands. Exhale, the whole back body expands. As you bring the chin to the chest, pull the navel in, squeeze out all the breath, let the shoulders round forward. You're rocking to the back of your sit bones now. Forward and back with breath. And maybe you can sync it up with that so hum mantra. So on the in-breath, hum on the out-breath, I am that. And if it feels good, if you remember from last time we did the dervish bow, opening the heart, looking up, try to bring the elbows toward one another, and then exhale, crossing over, hands to opposite shoulders. This is optional. If it feels good, you can do that, crossing the other way, alternating, opening and crossing, chin to chest, open and cross. So these two movements of the spine, flexion and extension, important to do every day. Back bends and forward bends. And once you feel complete on both sides, come back to neutral spine, shoulders over hips. And we'll take it into some side bends, reaching the left fingers to the sky. Right hand can just gently grasp the chair and take it into a lovely opening through the torso here. Let the ribs smile open, reach long and away. Unscrunch that left shoulder. See if you can keep that arm nice and long. Keep both sit bones rooted down into the chair. Go as deep as you can. And release. Now you can take a moment again to notice the difference between right and left side. And other side, right arm rises, reach up. Unshrug your right shoulder and take it into your seated half moon. So you're kind of making a crescent moon shape. As you arch over to the side, reach long and away. Let that upper arm be rolled open. Because what happens is sometimes that upper arm wants to come forward. And if it's a little too much for the shoulder to reach over to your left, just reach straight up. That's fine. Exhale, release. And come back to center. We'll take some twists with breath. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, twist to the right. Remember, your right hand can grasp the back of your chair or the bottom of your chair, looking over your right shoulder. Centered on your sit bones. Inhale up to center. Exhale, twist to the left. Lead with the heart. So each time we come into a twist, when you come to center, you want to invite length. So you're lifting the ribs away from the hips, and with that length, then you enter into a little bit deeper twist each time, if the body allows. Just listen to what your body says yes to, and where it invites you to be more gentle. One more time, right and left. Next time you do, you feel complete on both sides. We'll come back to center. And palms come together, back to the heart. And you can let the feet be a little bit wider than the hips, maybe as wide as your shoulders. And we'll take some torso rolls. Remember, we're working our way down the body, from the head, down through the shoulders, neck, shoulders, arms, torso. So see how wide you can make these circles, stirring it up. And circle the other way. Don't forget to breathe. In and out through the nose, long, slow, and deep. All right. Come back to center. And while we're here, I'm going to invite you to do a practice called Breath of Joy. And this is an enlivening, invigorating breathing practice with movement that energizes the whole body and oxygenates the blood and brings warmth and heat and prana, life force, to every cell. It's called the Breath of Joy. And we're going to do a seated version of it. It's usually done standing, but we'll do it seated. So coming to the front edge of your chair, so most of your legs are going to, of your lower legs are going to, or your thighs rather, are going to be off of the chair, in front of the chair. Just sit bones at the edge. And the arms are going to swing forward like this. And then they're going to swing sideways like this, so shoulder height. And then they're going to swing all the way up to the sky. And if you have any shoulder restrictions, just go as high as you can comfortably go. And we're going to do that with 3 sips of air. So inhale through the nose, inhale and inhale. And on that third inhale, you want to be filled all the way up into your chest. And on the exhale, you're going to fold forward, rounding the shoulders, exhale through the mouth. Ha! So you're rounding, you're ending up, you can either fully fold over your legs if that's comfortable, or take it a little more gently by just rolling the shoulders forward and letting the chin drop to the chest. Okay, and you don't have to fling yourself. You can just let yourself melt into it. But you want to make a little noise on that exhale, so it's expelling stagnant energy and stale energy with that exhale. So remember, this is called breath of joy. So with those 3 breaths, you're taking in life force, joy, positive energy. You can fill in the blank, whatever it is you want to take in and invite in. And with the exhale, you're breathing out whatever is in your way of fully receiving and embodying that. Okay? In through the nose, 3 sips. Exhale through the mouth. Inhale, 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 and inhale, 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 in through the nose. Out through the mouth. Inhale, 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 lift forward, lift side, lift high, and release. Now you can do it nice and slow, like I'm doing, or even slower. Or if it's comfortable, you can pick up the pace. Inhale, inhale, only if it's comfortable. Find your own pace. Go as slow as you need to. And if you should feel lightheaded or dizzy or uncomfortable in any way, just come back to seated and maybe just taking some slow sun breaths up and down. So do a few more of those breaths of joy at your own pace. And really don't be shy about making some noise on that exhale. Slow it down. Inhale, 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 savor it. Exhale, let go. And then slowly bring your hands to your thighs to slowly press up and take a moment of integration here. Turn the palms up on the lap. Come back to refresh your posture. Close your eyes and notice the prana, what I call the prana buzz. If you feel that tingling and just like a dancing sensation in your cells, that is prana. That's life force. That's your birthright. And as you take a moment to let the breath normalize in and out through the nose, see if you can touch back into that Soham mantra. Soham, Soham. And then let the eyes open with a soft gaze. We're going to come into figure 4. We're going to begin to bring the movement down the body into the hips and legs. So you all know this one. You've done this one with me many times. Above ankle meets the thigh of the opposite leg. And either stay seated, just pressing your hand inside your knee, or come onto your forearms. You're going to start this way just to explore an opening of the hip, maybe just a gentle pulse with the breath. Pressing on the exhale, and notice where you feel the juice, and then releasing on the inhale. So we're going to find that pulsing. Once you feel like you've come to an edge, a place where the sensation is strong and feels juicy, you can come into whatever variations feel good. So forearm to thigh, or folding over. Maybe bringing a block underneath you to press into as you fold over. So what we want to do is go for the juice, where you feel that it's like a little bit of a burn, but it's not painful. Remember Jane Fonda used to say, go for the burn? Well, it was back in the 80s or 90s. She used to talk about going for the burn in your exercise. I say go for the juice. So folding over is optional. It's fine to stay seated. You just want to invite a rotation of the hip and a stretch in the glute, a stretch in the outer thigh here. Opening of the hip. And when you're ready to release, notice the difference between one leg and the other. And we'll take it on the other side. Figure 4, this is also called seated pigeon. Just finding that pulse pressing into the inner thigh or inside of the knee. To invite an opening, go for the juice, and breathe into it. So you send your breath, using the breath to massage any tight areas. If it feels good, you can fold over. Either using block under your shoulder and just letting the weight of the torso fold over the legs. Invite that juiciness of the stretch. Remember, folding over the leg can also feel a little bit more comfortable if you place a folded blanket or pillow in between your belly and your legs. Bringing your attention back to your breath. Long breaths in and out through the nose. When you're ready to release, coming back up, unwinding your leg, just shake them out. Maybe giving your thighs a little pat down. Bouncing them out. And when you're ready, I invite you to come to standing behind your chair. And we're going to begin with a downward facing dog. Your hands can rest comfortably on the back of the chair. And let the feet walk back. Get a nice stretch through the whole torso, stretch through the backs of the legs. Your toes point straight ahead. They're about hip width apart. See if you can get that long line through the back body, and if it's comfortable, invite the heart to sink down. Navel draws in and up. Sitting bones spread wide like you're spreading your peacock feathers. And what you may notice in spreading the sitting bones wide is that the front of the thighs kind of want to turn inward a little bit without moving the feet. So it's an internal rotation of the thighs to spread through the sit bones. Navel lifts in and up, heart sinks low. No gripping with the hands, just gently resting the palms on the back of the chair. Rising up, I'm going to invite you to step your right foot forward. We're going to come into a variation of the Warrior One. Remember last time when we did Warrior One, the back foot was flat and turned out at an angle. This time, I'm going to invite you to come into the Balancing Warrior One, also known as Crescent Lunge. So you're going to be it's pretty much the same stance, except instead of being with your foot flat, you're on the ball of the back foot, and you're pressing out through the heel. So your toes are curled under and your toes point straight ahead this time on the back foot. So your knees and your toes are facing forward. Your knee over your ankle on the front leg. You can hold onto your chair for balance. Because what you're going to notice is that this is a little bit more of a balance challenge, and yet it's easier to square the hips here. Shoulders over hips, tailbone tucked, rooting down into the earth. You can either stay with maybe just fingertips on the chair, or One arm, opposite arm rises. So if your right foot is forward, let the left arm rise, inviting length and space through the left side of the torso. Or if it's available, you can reach up. And you want to keep that back knee from bending. So keep it active. Reach up through the fingertips, tuck the tail. You're going to feel a nice stretch in the front of the hip flexor, in front of the thigh. Whole psoas area here. And then bring the hands back down to the chair. Step it back into your downward facing dog. If you need to bend your knees a little bit in down dog to take some pressure off of the hamstrings, or if you notice your back rounding, see if you can bend the knees and find a flat line through the back body from the hips to the hands. So it's okay to take a little micro bend in the knees if you have really tight hamstrings. And if you're doing that, just find a moment of just straightening the legs just a little more with each breath and then softening them. So we're playing with the edge, dancing with the edge of the stretch, not forcing anything, just exploring and enjoying. One more breath cycle. And then soften the knees a little bit more. Rise up and step forward with your left foot. Slide your right foot forward, right foot back, as far as it'll comfortably go to straighten that back leg. So you have about a leg length of space between your feet. Front knee over ankle. And you can let the pelvis drop a little bit more so that front thigh comes a little closer to 90 degrees if you can. Otherwise, you can stay shorter in your stance if you need. Notice if you're folding forward and see if you can keep the torso upright. Shoulders square to the front. Remember, our warrior pose is about facing our challenges head on. Back of the knee crease in the right leg now is actively pressing back and away. You're on all 5 toes on that back foot are curled under and making contact with the mat. Heel straight up. And then take either one arm lift or both hands rise to the sky. Maybe if it's comfortable, you can take that courageous warrior, opening the heart. You'll notice it's a little more balanced challenge. So the inner thighs are going to need to activate toward the center. Breathe deeply. It's fine to keep a fingertip on the chair. And then when you're ready to release, hands come back to the chair and just step up to mountain. You can shake out one leg and then shake out the other. How you doing, everyone? You're all with me? Everybody looks like you're still alive, so that's a good thing. Let's take some balance. Practice. So come to the right side of your chair. Mountain pose, feet hip width apart. Toes pointing straight ahead. We'll take it into the tree. So you're going to root down through your left foot and lift the right knee and either turn it out to the side with your tippy toes on the floor, or you can take a block. This is the simplest version of tree. Knee straight out to the side if you can, so we get that hip opener, or sole of the foot inside the calf, or sole of the foot inside the thigh. And if you do that, you want to really activate the trunk of your tree, make it nice and firm, and press hard with your foot into it. And that's going to open your hip a little more. Sound of one hand clapping, or both hands together. Branches to the sky, either on one arm, or if it's available, both arms. Without scrunching your shoulders, stay soft in the shoulders, soft in the muscles around the face. Remember, in our balance poses, we want to fix the gaze into a spot on the floor, a few, maybe 6 feet in front of you. And stay soft in the face, the jaw, the brow, the temples, the muscles around the eyes. And when you're ready to release, Hands come down and come to standing in samastiti, or mountain pose. Samastiti is a Sanskrit word that means equal balance on both feet. It's just another name for the mountain pose. Come to the other side, and we'll play with that balance. If you used a block, your block will now go on the outside, because your left knee is going to come out to the side. So we enjoy that hip opening benefit. Or foot to calf. What's nice is that the foot, the sole of the foot fits perfectly, matches the shape of the calf perfectly. Or you can come into a full expression of tree. This is a little more challenging on the knees. And you want to root the tailbone down so that the pubic bone comes forward a little bit, so that you're lengthening through the back body. So I'm just going to show you what that looks like from the side. So if you're in your tree pose and your tail is tilted back, you're kind of thrusting the low belly forward and you got that lumbar curve, you want to correct for that and just try to do a little pelvic tuck. And the knee comes straight out to the side, not out like this, if you can. It's just what we want to work toward. Sound of one hand clapping or both hands clapping. Branches to the sky, maybe supporting yourself if you need it. Fingertip on the chair, soft shoulders, open heart. Fixing your gaze into that spot on the floor. And then releasing when you're ready. And give the legs a little shake out. Okay. All right. What I'd like to do here, let's do, I'm going to invite you to do as our last posture before we wind down. Can you hear me okay? Is this coming through? Check, check. Just barely. You can hear me okay? All right, good. I'm going to invite you to come into the camel pose, which is a back bend. I'm going to turn sideways so that you can see. You want to come forward on your chair. And here's one where you might find it useful to have your block on the chair. You may or may not find that useful. I find it too high for this block, because this block is a little bit too high. So it might just be that using your fists on the chair behind you will work, or grasping the edge of the chair behind you. What you want to do is support yourself on your hands and have your fingers turned to the back of your chair so that the upper arms rotate outward. And we're going to take it into a nice open-hearted, squeezing shoulder blades together, open-hearted back bend. And only lift the chin if that's comfortable for you. What you can do is, I have a blanket here that I can just demonstrate. Some of you know how to do this. We've done this before. You take your blanket and you fold it, you open it up the long way, and you fold it over and over again the long way till it makes a long scarf or a stole. I did a very messy job of it right now, but just to do it quickly. And you put it around your neck, and you cross it over your heart nice and snug, so that when you're sitting in your chair and you're taking that back bend with your hands on the chair, you can let the head come back and the chin lift, and you have support. So those of you who want to try that can take your blanket and do that. It takes a little bit of setup time, so it may be something that you want to try on your own. But, and some of you might find it easier just to place the hands on the low back and bring the elbows straight back behind you, so you just get that expansion in the heart and the chest. and look up if it's comfortable. The camel pose, opening wide through the heart. Pressing into the low back and just staying there. And for those of you who want to take it to the next level, the hands would come down to the chair, either fingertips or fist or palms flat if it's open. You just want to feel supported here. So however you can be supported, fists, fingertips, or flat hands. And try to have your fingers pointing straight back behind you. And your shoulder blades want to kiss one another. Once you feel that openness in the heart and openness in the throat, you can take a cleansing breath, a releasing that through that throat chakra. So take a deep breath in and stick out your tongue and go, ah, to clear out any stuckness in that area of self-expression. Ah. To come out of camel pose, bring one hand to the low back, the other hand to the low back on either side of the spine. Come to sit upright and bring your head up last. And as a complementary pose, I'm going to invite you to take your hands, point your fingers inward, press your hands into your thighs, and point your fingers toward one another, or just let them face toward one another. Press into the thighs, round the back, chin to chest. So you're going to let the shoulders come forward, chin presses into the chest, navel draws in. So you're coming into the opposite movement of the spine. A flexion, spine, rounding of the spine. Press into the thighs. And then come back up to neutral spine. Let the arms rise. We're going to take it into our closing twist. Turn to the side. Just take another one of those twists. We'll just do a simple twist as we did before. Exhaling to the right. Inhaling up to center. Exhaling to the left into your twist. Inhaling arms to the sky. Exhaling hands down to your thighs. Refreshing your posture, long spine. Turn the palms up so the backs of the hands rest on the thighs. And close the eyes and take a moment to settle into returning to the mantra, Soham. Letting it ride on the breath. So on the in-breath, hum on the out-breath. So with each breath cycle, you are affirming, I am that I am. And in that affirmation, I am that, we're not putting anything else after it. So we're not identifying with any of the roles that we tend to put after I am. Like I am a mother, I am a business person, I am a woman, I am a whatever you identify with. We're going right to the crux of it, right to the root, which is just, I am. I am an expression of divinity. I am that. Soham. Soham, soham, soham shivoham, soham, soham, soham shivoham. I am that I am. 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 Bringing your hands together, palms joined in front of the heart. Let's together affirm that collective I amness with the sound of Om. Taking a deep breath in, exhale together to Om. Namaste, everyone.
Namaste.
Namaste.